3 hours until midnight. Khloe sat on James's couch, staring at the photo on her phone. The image was damning. Her and James in his office, bodies pressed together, his hand in her hair, her fingers clutching his shirt. No question what was happening. No way to spin it as anything other than what it was. A kiss that shouldn't have happened between a CEO and his employee. "Stop looking at it," James said, pacing the length of the living room like a caged animal. "We need to think strategically, not spiral. We have 3 hours before this goes public. Spiraling seems appropriate." He stopped pacing, running both hands through his hair. For the first time since she'd met him, James Glover looked genuinely rattled. "My legal team says we have limited options. We can pay, which sets a precedent for future blackmail. We can call their bluff and hope they don't actually release anything. Or what? Or we beat them to it. Release the information ourselves, control the narrative." Khloe's stomach dropped. "You mean admit the engagement is fake?"
No.
"I mean admit to the kiss. Say it happened before we were officially dating. That it was the moment we both realized our feelings were too strong to ignore. We were trying to remain professional, but chemistry won out." He met her eyes. "We turned their weapon into proof of our love story. It was brilliant, manipulative, exactly the kind of strategic thinking that made James successful." "There's just one problem," Khloe said slowly. "That story only works if people believe we're genuinely in love. And I'm not sure I'm that good of an actress. You won't have to act." His voice was quiet, dangerous. "The feelings are real, Khloe. You know they are." The admission hung between them, heavy with implication. Because he was right. Somewhere between the fake engagement and the blackmail threats, between late-night conversations and stolen kisses, real feelings had developed. "Even if we release the photo ourselves," Khloe said, needing to focus on logistics instead of feelings. "The blackmailer said they have more. Recordings. Documentation. What if there's something else we don't know about? Then we find out what they have before midnight." James pulled out his phone. "I'm calling in a favor. Someone who specializes in unconventional problems." "What kind of someone?" "The kind who doesn't ask questions and gets results." He stepped away, phone already to his ear, voice dropping to a murmur. Khloe stood and moved to the windows, watching the city lights blur through sudden tears. How had her life become this? 3 months ago, her biggest concern was making rent and proving herself at work. Now she was caught in a blackmail scheme, living with a billionaire, pretending to be engaged while developing real feelings that could destroy everything. Her phone rang. "Christina." "Hey," Khloe answered, trying to sound normal. "Don't hey me. I've been texting you all day. Are you okay? You sound weird."
I'm fine.
"Just stressed about work." "About work or about your sudden engagement to a man you barely know?" Christina's voice softened. "Khloe, talk to me. What's really going on?" For a wild moment, Khloe wanted to tell her everything. The fake engagement, the blackmail, the impossible situation she'd created. But the words stuck in her throat. "I'm just overwhelmed," she said instead. "It's a lot to adjust to. Is he treating you well? Because if he's not, billionaire or not, I will absolutely." "He's treating me well." That at least was true. "Better than I probably deserve." "You deserve everything, Khloe. Don't forget that." After Christina hung up, the guilt settled heavy in Khloe's chest. Another person she was lying to. Another relationship potentially destroyed when the truth came out. James returned, his expression grim. "My contact can have preliminary information in 2 hours. But there's a catch." "What kind of catch?" "He needs access to the blackmailer's digital footprint, which means we need to keep them engaged. String them along until we can trace their location and hack their devices." "How do we do that?" "We negotiate. Make them think we're considering payment. Ask for proof of what else they have. Every communication gives us more data to work with." He checked his watch. 2 hours and 40 minutes. "We need to move now." Khloe opened her phone with shaking hands and typed, "We need more time. And proof that paying you will actually end this." How do we know you'll destroy the evidence? The response came within seconds. You don't. But you don't have better options. I want the money by midnight or everything I have goes to every major news outlet simultaneously. James read over her shoulder. Keep them talking. Ask what else they have. Khloe typed. What other evidence are you claiming to have? We need to know what we're paying for. Recordings of your conversations. Documentation of when you moved in together. Timeline proving the engagement announcement came right after the kiss photo. Enough to prove this is a cover-up, not a love story. Recordings, James muttered. Which means they either have access to surveillance systems or they planted bugs. Both concerning. Could it be someone on your security team? Possible. But my head of security has been with me for 10 years. I trust him with my life. His jaw tightened. Then again, I've been wrong before. Another message appeared. Clock's ticking. Transfer the money or prepare for your world to end. Your choice. They're getting impatient, Khloe said. Pushing for a decision. Good. Impatient people make mistakes. James pulled out a second phone, typing rapidly. I'm coordinating with my contact. He's tracking the signal origin now. For the next 30 minutes, they waited in tense silence. Khloe tried not to watch the clock, but every minute that passed felt like a countdown to disaster. At 11 p.m., James's phone rang. He answered immediately. Talk to me. Khloe watched his expression shift from concentration to surprise to something close to rage. Are you certain? He asked, his voice deadly quiet. Absolutely certain? A pause. Send me everything you have. Now. He ended the call and turned to Khloe, his eyes hard. We have a name. Who?
Victoria.
The world tilted. Your assistant Victoria? That's impossible. She's been helping us. She arranged my wardrobe, coordinated the press conference. She's been watching us, documenting everything. My contact traced the burner phone to an electronics store, then pulled surveillance footage. Victoria was there 3 days ago, paying cash. He pulled up a photo on his phone. Grainy but unmistakable. Victoria, hooded sweatshirt, buying a burner phone. Khloe's mind raced. Victoria had access to everything, James's schedule, his private office, his security systems. She would have known about the kiss, known about the fake engagement, known every detail of their arrangement because she helped orchestrate it. Why would she do this? Khloe whispered. What does she gain? Revenge. Money. Both. James's expression was carved from stone. 3 years ago, I fired her sister from the finance department. Embezzlement. Victoria begged me to reconsider, said her sister made a mistake. I refused. Her sister couldn't find work after that. Last I heard, she'd left the country in disgrace. So this is payback. This is her destroying me the way I destroyed her sister. He checked his watch. We have 58 minutes. We can expose her, have her arrested, but that doesn't get us the evidence she's collected. If she's smart, she's uploaded it to multiple secure locations. Taking her down doesn't take down the threat. Then what do? We negotiate, but not with money. His eyes met hers, and she saw the ruthless CEO fully present. With leverage. What kind of leverage? Victoria's sister didn't just embezzle from the company. She embezzled from clients, which makes it federal. She's avoiding charges only because she left the country. But I have evidence that could get her extradited and prosecuted. His smile was cold. Victoria wants to protect her sister. That's her weakness. We exploit it. It was brutal, effective, exactly what Khloe expected from James Glover. So we blackmail the blackmailer, she said slowly. We give her a choice. Destroy her evidence and walk away, or watch her sister spend the next decade in federal prison. He was already typing on his phone. My lawyers are pulling the files now. We'll have everything we need in 15 minutes. And if she calls our bluff? If she doesn't care about her sister? Then we destroy each other and see who survives. His voice was flat, final. But I don't think it'll come to that. Family loyalty is powerful. She'll choose her sister over revenge. Khloe wanted to argue. wanted to say this was too ruthless, too cold. But they were out of time and options. And Victoria had struck first. At 11:30, they had everything they needed. James's lawyers had compiled a comprehensive file on Victoria's sister, bank statements, transaction records, client testimonies. All of it documented, verified, ready to hand over to federal prosecutors. Send her a message, James instructed. Tell her we need to meet, in person. Final negotiation. Khloe's hands shook as she typed. We'll pay, but we need to meet face to face. Verify the evidence exchange. You named the location. The response took 3 minutes. 3 agonizing minutes where Khloe wondered if they'd miscalculated, if Victoria would just release everything out of spite. Then, Glover Industries. Executive floor. 11:45 p.m. Come alone. She wants to meet at your office, Khloe said. Why there? Because she knows the building. Knows the security systems, the blind spots, the exits. James stood, grabbing his jacket. She thinks she has home field advantage. But that's exactly where I want her. They took James's private car, the drive taking less than 10 minutes through late-night traffic. The Glover Industries building loomed dark against the sky, only a few floors still lit. The executive floor was completely empty. Your security team? Khloe asked as they rode the elevator up. Standing by, but they'll stay back unless I call them. Victoria specified alone. If she sees anyone else, she'll bolt. The elevator doors opened onto the darkened 29th floor. Emergency lighting cast long shadows. James's office door stood open, a single lamp burning inside. Victoria sat in James's chair, her expression unreadable. She'd shed the hood, her dark hair pulled back, professional attire replacing the nondescript clothing from the park. She looked exactly like the efficient assistant Khloe had come to rely on. Mr. Glover, Miss Parker. Victoria's voice was calm, controlled. I'm surprised you came. You gave us an ultimatum, James said, his voice equally controlled. We're here to negotiate terms. There are no terms. $1 million or I release everything. She tapped her laptop. I'm ready to send the files the moment midnight hits. Unless you've made a transfer. We're not paying you, Khloe said, stepping forward. We know who you are, Victoria. We know why you're doing this. And we know about your sister. Something flickered in Victoria's eyes. Fear quickly suppressed. I don't know what you're talking about. Rebecca Walsh, your sister, currently living in the Cayman Islands under an assumed name, avoiding federal embezzlement charges. James pulled out his phone, displaying the file. Charges that could be reinstated with one phone call from our legal team. She'd be extradited within 72 hours. Victoria's composure cracked. You wouldn't. I would. I will. Unless you destroy every piece of evidence you've collected and disappear. His voice was ice. You wanted to destroy me for what I did to your sister. But if you release that information, I'll ensure she spends the next decade in federal prison. Your choice. You destroyed her life. Victoria stood, anger finally breaking through. She made one mistake. One. And you made sure she'd never work again. She lost everything because of you. She stole from clients, James said flatly. Violated their trust. Broke federal law. I didn't destroy her. She destroyed herself. She needed help. She was drowning in debt, made bad choices, and faced consequences. As you will if you don't delete those files right now. Victoria looked between them, her hands clenched into fists. You're a monster, both of you, creating this fake engagement to save your reputations, lying to everyone, and I'm the villain for exposing it. You're the villain for blackmail, Khloe said quietly. I understand you're angry. I understand you want revenge for what happened to your sister. But this won't fix anything. It'll just create more destruction. Good. You deserve to be destroyed. Maybe we do. Khloe acknowledged. But your sister doesn't deserve prison. You love her enough to do this. Love her enough to let it go. Victoria's eyes filled with tears. She's all I have. After our parents died, we only had each other. And he took her from me. I know. Khloe moved closer, speaking gently. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry you lost your sister. Sorry she made choices that had terrible consequences. Sorry that James's decision hurt you both. But revenge won't bring her back. It'll just add more pain to an already painful situation. She doesn't get closure, Victoria spat. She doesn't get justice. She just gets to hide forever while she gestured at James, continues building his empire like nothing happened. You're right. It's not fair. James's voice was softer now. Not quite apologetic, but less harsh. Your sister made a mistake and paid a steep price. But she broke the law. I couldn't ignore that, even if I wanted to. And neither can you. So what? I just let this go? Pretend I don't know the truth about your fake engagement. You walk away, James said. Delete the files. Keep the job if you want it, or I'll provide an excellent reference and 6 months severance. You go back to your life, we go back to ours, and your sister stays safe. Everyone walks away intact. Victoria stared at her laptop screen. Internal war playing across her face. Revenge versus family. Justice versus survival. How do I know you won't prosecute her anyway? She asked finally. Once I've deleted everything, what stops you? My word, James said simply, which has never been broken. I don't lie about business. This is business. Your word.
Victoria laughed bitterly.
The word of a man whose engagement is a lie. The engagement might have started as strategy, James said, his eyes finding Khloe's. But it's not entirely fake anymore. Some things became real without us intending them to. The admission made Khloe's breath catch. This wasn't part of their negotiation strategy. This was James, being honest in a moment when lies would have been easier. Victoria caught the look between them, seemed to weigh its authenticity. You actually care about her. This wasn't just about saving face. No, James admitted. It wasn't. The clock on the wall ticked toward midnight. 11:53. 7 minutes until Victoria's deadline. If I do this, Victoria said slowly, if I delete everything and walk away, I need to know she's safe. I need your word that Rebecca will never be prosecuted. Ever. You have it, James said immediately. Delete the files. Right now. In front of us. Then you're free to go. Victoria's hands hovered over the keyboard. If you're lying to me, I'm not. His voice was firm. Final. I keep my word. Always. For a moment, nothing moved. Then Victoria's fingers flew across the keys. Khloe watched as files disappeared from the screen. Photos.
Audio recordings.
Documents. Everything Victoria had collected. Deleted in seconds. Cloud backups. James prompted. Victoria pulled up another screen, deleting files from multiple servers. Dropbox. Google Drive. Some encrypted service Khloe didn't recognize. All of it gone. Done, Victoria said finally, her voice hollow. It's all gone. Show me your phone, James instructed. Victoria handed it over. James scrolled through, verified the deletion, then handed it back. Thank you. I don't want your thanks. I want to never see you again. Victoria grabbed her laptop, moving toward the door. She stopped at the threshold, looking back. For what it's worth, Miss Parker, I hope whatever this is between you is real. Because if you're just another person he uses and discards when convenient, you deserve better. Then she was gone. The silence in James's office was deafening. Khloe slumped into a chair, the adrenaline draining from her system and leaving exhaustion in its wake. It's over, she whispered. It's actually over. For now. James moved to his desk, opening a drawer and pulling out a bottle of scotch. He poured 2 glasses, pressing one into her hands. We still have the original problem. The engagement. The lie we're maintaining. Except you just told Victoria it's not entirely fake anymore. Khloe met his eyes. Did you mean that? James was silent for a long moment, studying his glass. When he spoke, his voice was carefully measured. I meant that somewhere between the strategy and the performance, real feelings developed. On my side, at least. The admission hung between them, vulnerable and honest. On mine too, Khloe said quietly. Which makes this more complicated. Or simpler. He set down his glass, moving to stand in front of her. We started this as a fake engagement to protect both our reputations. But what if we stopped pretending? What if we just saw where this goes? You mean actually date? For real? I mean stop lying about what we feel. Stop pretending this is just business. His hand came up, cupping her face. I know it's fast. I know it's complicated. But when I kissed you that first time, when I pulled you into this arrangement, I told myself it was strategic, necessary. But that was a lie. What was the truth? That I wanted you. That you challenged me in ways no one has in years. That being around you makes me feel alive instead of just successful. His thumb traced her cheekbone. And that terrifies me more than any blackmail threat. Khloe's heart hammered against her ribs. James, we barely know each other. This started as a lie. Then let's make it truth. He leaned in, his forehead resting against hers. I'm not good at relationships. I'm demanding, controlling, sometimes ruthless. I work too much, care too much about success, and I've hurt people by putting business first. But with you, I want to try. Really try. If you're willing to take that risk. It was insane. They'd known each other for weeks, not months. They'd built their entire relationship on deception. Every rational part of Khloe's brain screamed that this was a terrible idea. Yes, she heard herself say. I'll take the risk. His kiss was different this time. Not desperate or strategic. Just honest. Real. The kiss of someone who'd finally stopped pretending. When they finally broke apart, both breathing hard, James smiled. Actually smiled. Not the corporate mask or the calculated charm, but genuine happiness. So we're doing this, he said. Actually doing this. We're doing this. Khloe laughed, slightly hysterical. We're turning our fake engagement into a real relationship. That's absolutely insane. The best things usually are. He pulled her to her feet. Come on. Let's go home. Home. The word shouldn't have meant anything. It was still his penthouse. His space that she was temporarily occupying. But somehow it felt right. They left the building hand in hand. The crisis behind them. A new chapter beginning. The car ride was quiet but comfortable. When they reached the penthouse, Khloe headed toward her room, then stopped. James? He turned, eyebrow raised. I don't want separate bedrooms anymore. Heat flashed in his eyes. Are you sure?
No.
But I'm doing it anyway. His smile was devastating. Then come here. This time, when he kissed her, there were no interruptions. No blackmail threats or professional boundaries or carefully maintained lies. Just them finally honest about what they wanted. Later, tangled in sheets that cost more than her monthly rent, Khloe traced the scar on his ribs. How did you get this? Rock climbing accident when I was 25. Fell 30 feet, broke 3 ribs. His fingers traced patterns on her shoulder. I was trying to prove I could do something that had nothing to do with business. Nearly killed myself in the process. Do you still climb?
No.
I learned that some risks aren't worth taking. He caught her hand, bringing it to his lips. Others are. Khloe's phone buzzed on the nightstand. She ignored it. It buzzed again, and again. You should check that, James murmured. She grabbed it reluctantly. 3 messages. From Margaret. Emergency. Peterson is calling for your removal from the Lux campaign. He's claiming conflict of interest due to your relationship with James. Board meeting tomorrow at 9 a.m. You need to be there. Khloe showed James the messages. His expression hardened. Peterson's making his move. He's been waiting for an opening. Can he actually remove me from the campaign? He can try. The board would have to vote on it. James sat up, already shifting into strategic mode. But we just got approval yesterday. He'd need substantial justification to overturn that. Our relationship is substantial justification. He'll argue I only got the position because I'm sleeping with the CEO. Which is partially true, even if the timeline is wrong. James ran both hands through his hair. This is exactly what I wanted to avoid. You getting caught in corporate politics because of me. I can handle Peterson. Can you? He's been with this company for 15 years. He has allies on the board, relationships I don't. If he's making this move, he's confident he can win. Khloe's stomach churned. They just survived blackmail, admitted real feelings, taken their fake relationship and made it genuine. And now Peterson was threatening to destroy her career anyway. What do I do? She asked. You fight. You walk into that boardroom and remind them why they approved the campaign in the first place. You make them see that your work stands on its own merit, regardless of our relationship. His hand found hers. And I'll be right there with you. You can't defend me. That'll just prove Peterson's point. Then you defend yourself. Show them you don't need me to fight your battles. His eyes held hers. Can you do that? Could she? Walk into a room full of hostile executives and prove her worth? Convince them she deserved the Lux campaign based on talent, not bedroom politics? I don't know, Khloe admitted. But I'll try. That's all I'm asking. They lay in silence for a while, the crisis temporarily pushed aside. Finally, Khloe spoke. James? Do you ever regret it? Giving me this chance? All the complications it's caused. He was quiet for so long she thought he might not answer. Then, no. The complications are worth it. You're worth it. The simple statement made her throat tight. Even if I lose the campaign tomorrow? Even if Peterson wins? Even then? Because this, he gestured between them, is real. And I'll take real complications over fake simplicity any day. Khloe kissed him, trying to convey everything she couldn't put into words. Gratitude, fear, hope, the overwhelming feeling that despite the chaos and the lies and the impossible situation, she was exactly where she wanted to be. They fell asleep tangled together, the city lights casting patterns across the ceiling. Tomorrow would bring new battles. Peterson, the board, the continuing fallout from their very public engagement. But tonight they had this. Truth, honesty, something real built from the ashes of their carefully constructed lies. Khloe's last thought before sleep claimed her was that some risks were absolutely worth taking. Even the terrifying ones. Especially those. Her phone buzzed one final time. She ignored it, choosing instead to stay in this moment. In James's arms. In the truth they'd finally found. But the message sat unread on her screen. From an unknown number. A new threat from a new source. Because Victoria might have been neutralized, but corporate warfare never truly ended. Enjoy your victory, Miss Parker. It won't last. Some of us have been playing this game much longer than you. And we always win. A friend. The war for her career, her reputation, and her relationship with James was far from over. It was only just beginning. The blackmail threat is gone, but a new enemy has emerged, and this one might be even more dangerous. Peterson is making his move, and someone else is lurking in the shadows. Will Khloe survive the board meeting and keep her campaign? Or will corporate politics destroy everything she's built? Subscribe to Urban Folks TV so you don't miss episode 6, where the Real battle begins. Comment below who you think this new threat is, and smash that like button if you're addicted to this story. Episode 6 drops soon, and trust me, the stakes just got impossibly higher.